What we're looking at today is the biggest idol that we have that we don't always know we have. So we're going to go through some of what is an idol anyway? Why do we have them? And what the biggest one is. And the kind of destruction and chaos and carnage that this one is causing. It's not talked about that much. So let's get straight into it. Believe is designed to empower and equip you to become the woman God created you to be and do what you are here to do. No more searching, finding, fixing and trying to heal yourself and do life on your own. It's time to help make this God thing make sense so you can experience the power of the truth in your business and in your life. First of all, what is an idol? We're told in the Bible to have no other idols. So what does the word idol mean? The word idol means a person or a thing that is greatly admired, loved, or revered. For example, like we revere footballers, don't we? And we revere celebrities and things like that. Well, sometimes we do. And it's something that it's an image. The actual definition is an image or representation of God. So it's an image or a representation of God. So what does that tell us? It's not God. And a quick Google search goes into its images, statues, or anything else that we worship or revere as a deity. So what does that mean? Let's look. A deity can be a god, a goddess, a divine status, quality, or nature. As in, we're expecting this thing to create something. And the thing is, in the self-help world, I used to have loads of objects that I didn't worship, but I thought that by having these things, it would bring me luck, or it would help me manifest things, or if I held it, it would help heal my body, all these kind of things. And it can be things that are physical. I remember when I was struggling to get pregnant, somebody gave me this little weird statue, and apparently if you held it or if it was in your home, it would help you get pregnant and keep the baby, apparently. And I was freaked out because I didn't ever want to let it go, because I was like, oh, I better not let it go because it's got some power in it. And I remember having all of these different crystals, different colours, different things, and I'm sure that they do have some elements in them, but I was relying on a crystal to hold it, for example, to give me confidence or to calm me down or to heal my heart or something like that. It almost sounds so ridiculous now when you realise what we're giving our power away to. And I remember when I first came back to church and I said to the pastor that we first met, and I mentioned that somebody in the community had said that, God feels really icky. And when we were sort of talking about putting your power and your belief and your faith in the moon or the stars to sort of heal you and guide you and help you through your life, all that kind of thing, a lot of believers are absolutely perplexed that we would put our faith and our belief in an object like that. They don't get it. They're like, why would you ask the moon for guidance when you can ask God? And they just don't get it. But it just depends where you've learnt things from. And it's no surprise, because if we've removed God from schools and homes and our lives, and we've replaced it with the biggest idol instead, which is what we're doing today, we've replaced God's help with self-help. The biggest idol that we have isn't anymore things like money, success, fame, having a certain job, having a certain relationship. It can be having status. It's so many different things that we idolize, and we think it can be pleasures of life, education, certain education. It's anything that we see as being something that is powerful, something that will give us maybe peace or success or a feeling of enoughness or acceptance or approval. Idolatry actually covers so many things, like emotions, things that are seen and unseen. But basically, what it's doing is taking our attention away from God. And the biggest idol that goes unseen, yes, we have the money stuff, and we have, if I have the money, then I'll be safe. If I have the success, then I'll be loved. All those kind of things. But when we remove God, of course, we're gonna look for that same peace and that same power somewhere else. And if God doesn't make sense to us because of either our past, how we've learnt about it, what our parents taught us or not, what school taught us or not, and if it's been removed from society and it's been replaced with the self-help message of you can do it, you can work it all out, you can love yourself, you can heal yourself, then we're elevating ourselves. And there's a point of, yes, love yourself, and yes, be proud of yourself, but we've got things the wrong way round, and we wonder why there's so much chaos and confusion in the world. So from the wrong perspective, the whole God thing, the whole idolatry thing, looked from the wrong perspective, looks like control. It's like, don't have any other idols before me. Don't put anything else before me. When I was not back as a believer, when I was off in self-help world, I thought that message was controlling. I thought it was like almost like my freedom had been stripped away from me, and it was like, you have to follow these rules. If you don't, you'll go to hell. That was the kind of message that I thought it was. From the wrong perspective, we see money as being our safety, but not in a healthy way. Yes, it can give a sense of safety, but it's when we're so reliant on it that we'll do anything for it, and we live with so much fear around it. For example, from the wrong perspective, we need a relationship. We need to have this relationship with somebody to feel loved. We need success so that we feel approved. We need fame so that we feel we're good enough. So we think from the wrong perspective, outside of God's rule and reign. When we're not a believer and we're in self-help world, we think that God's trying to control us, trying to keep us down. And then we go off and we start to control things ourselves, and it all becomes about the self instead of about God. Again, no wonder why marriages are the way they are. No wonder family have so much division at the minute. No wonder why schools aren't teaching it. And it's been removed from a lot of the talk and a lot of what kids are learning. No wonder, because we've been taught it wrong. We're getting it from the wrong perspective, and we're absolutely bombarded with that, what's meant to be that empowering message of you can do it, you can figure it out, you can manifest it all, you can spin all of the plates, you can keep this all going, until we realise we can't. Our nervous system is so burnt out that we're clinging onto the wrong things. Idols can be sex, drugs, alcohol, food, like all sorts of idols where we get some sort of comfort and we get something that draws our attention away from God, because we think that we're going to find something in this thing to help us, to make us feel better, might give us a bit of control, might give us a bit of power. Whatever we think it is, it's like, this thing is going to help me because God can't. From the wrong perspective, it feels like God's trying to take your freedom away. But from the right perspective, you realise when you're learning this from somebody who is teaching it in the right way, you realise that it's talking about put God first and all these other things will come. This is ultimate freedom. So let's break it down. From the right perspective, putting God first is ultimate alignment. It's not self-help alignment where we're sort of trying to align our energy with something and we don't really know what, and 1 minute we feel all right and the next minute we don't. This is ultimate alignment where we start to remember who we are and whose we are. And when we start to learn what our real identity is as a child of God, we are loved because of who we are. Then that love comes from within. It's not something we need to manufacture or make or force or try and manifest somehow through all of these different crazy manifesting tools. It doesn't come from something we have to do. It comes from inside of us because of who we are and whose we are. And the second thing is, when we look at it from the right perspective, then we know what we want. We know we want to be on God's will more than anything else because we don't want to chase the wrong things any longer. Because we've all been there, haven't we? Chasing the wrong things, the next thing, achieving it, getting it, still feeling unhappy and unsatisfied. So the biggest idol isn't everything that we've talked about so far. It isn't the sex. It isn't the food, the diet, the clothes, the cars, the houses, the fame, the money, the success, the job, the relationships, the things, the crystals, the statues, the things we worship, the things we look to that we think has the power of God in them. Whether we believe in God or not, sometimes we can believe in God and think that the power, like Eli did, we can think that in this box is God and that's where he is. And if we're not a believer, we put it in things like crystals and tarot cards and all these type of things that are going to give us this guidance, this wisdom. Our biggest idol has become ourselves. You can do it. You can heal yourself. You can fix it. We're limited. You can love yourself. That love is limited. You can plan it. Plan what? We've planned stuff. We're still not happy. I want what I want when I want it. But then we don't get things and then we get frustrated and then we don't know what to ask for and we don't know what the vision is and we don't know what the goals are. And it's this focus, this absolute almost obsession with selfish ambition. Self. It's all about the self with a little s. Success so we feel good. It's all about feeling good, your vibes, to look good, to get approval. But it never satisfies us and it can't. It's not to say that the money's bad, not at all. God wants us to have money. God wants us to have success in what we're doing. God wants us to have the most amazing job, the most amazing relationship. He wants us to eat the most amazing food and be healthy. He wants good stuff for us, but in the right order, not to put our power in ourselves, not to put our power or God's power in something else or someone else that we think can replace God because God hasn't made sense to us. The self-help world has caused so much chaos and carnage that I don't even think we're scratching the surface on. I really don't, because it's an absolute $1 billion a year industry. It's showing no sign of slowing down, and it's got this relentless focus on the self, on you create these habits, you have this powerful morning routine, you go and kick the doors down, you go and make it happen, you follow your feelings. And it's all that advice you get where it's like, you've got to look after yourself, you've got to put yourself first, all of those kind of things. And the message has got so confused. We rely on ourselves. And then we wonder why we're tired and we're confused and we're burnt out and we're still searching and we still feel like something's missing because we're not relying on God. We're putting our power in the drink to make us relax, or in the food to make us feel better, or in the next thing to give us a bit of peace and approval. And we're not relying on God. Why? Because it's been removed. It's been removed from the message, from schools, from homes, from lives. It's been removed from the message and watered down. You only need to read a couple of self-help books to see that it's just from the Bible. It's just made a bit sexier and it's kind of stripped God out, because we sort of think, and I don't know the facts on this, but the universe has your back. I bet would sell a lot more books than God has your back, because the universe sounds sexy and empowering. And whoa, what, we can just ask the universe for something and it'll manifest, and the moon can like guide us. That sounds cool, doesn't it? It sounds like, wow, this is empowering. I can take back control, until you get to a place where you're like, I don't want to do this thing called life on my own anymore. I don't want to build my business. I'm addicted to this. I'm addicted to that. I'm obsessed with spending. I'm obsessed with this. I'm going to blow my life up. I'm going to blow things up if I carry on. And I'm still not getting the healing, even though I've got every crystal. And I'm still not feeling any better, no matter how many self-help books and courses and all the things that I've done. I'm still searching. I'm still striving. I've still not got peace. Why? Because God's being missed out of the message. We cannot leave God out and keep focusing on ourselves. Well, we can. We can. Of course we can do that. It's all a choice. But self-focus is limited. Yes, we have to take action. Just because you're a believer doesn't mean to say that you just sit there and meditate all day and just expect God to put things and sort everything out. It's like you have actions to take, but God will guide you on the right actions to take. Have you ever planned your day or you've done the whole day's work and you get to the end of the day and you realise quite a few of the things you were doing, it was like a waste of time. And you're like, if I just asked God which task to focus on, I probably could have done my day in 5 hours instead of 10. And it's like God will help us to be efficient because he'll guide us and tell us, do this, don't do this, focus here. God can do so much, but we've replaced God's help with self-help, and we wonder why things are upside down, and we wonder why things aren't working, and we're still missing something. So I get it. I totally get it, because I did not resonate with the God thing. Did not resonate with it. The way the churches I was brought up in, the message that I heard, the people, the whole, it was not inspiring. So of course, this sexy, glamorous self-help model comes out, and it's like, you can manifest what you want. All you have to do is ask, believe a bit, and you'll receive all the good stuff. But then it doesn't work. And you're like, oh, I'm still in pain. What is the answer? And you don't go to God because you think God isn't real, or it doesn't make sense, or we think it's controlling. And then actually, when we realize and we come back to God and we learn it in the right way, we realize that God is ultimate freedom, ultimate healing. And when we do things in the right order, we realize it's not about control. A lot of this is Old Testament, all wine, and we sort of carry that forward into Jesus's teaching, and it's time to learn about it again. And this might be the first time you've ever listened to something like this. You might be leaning in, you might be a full-on believer, and this is a real opportunity to spend a bit of time and be like, where am I putting and placing power? Where have I removed God, and what am I putting in first place? So am I that focused on money being the thing that is going to save me and take away the fear? Am I thinking that if I've got so much money, then I won't fear anymore? Or are we looking to God first? A lot of the time we're like, right, if I had so much in the bank, then I'd be relaxed and happy. I know people that say, right, if I had 100 grand in the bank, I'd never worry about money again. And then you meet people that have got 100 grand in the bank and they're worried about money. And you meet people with £1 million in the bank and they're worried about money. And you're like, wow. Because if God isn't the foundation, nothing will satisfy it. The fear won't go away. And we're told, build your house upon rocks. Build it on the rock, because if you're not on the rock, if you've not got God as the foundation, we will seek peace and power and security in all these other things, and idols can fall and will fall. But God is the rock. Then all these other things come, but there's a healthy relationship with them. If God wants you to have fame, you'll have fame. If God wants you to be a multimillionaire, that's what will happen. If God wants you to have a certain job, relationship, it will happen. God will make it happen if that's your plan, if that's your will. But we're not going there first because we're told we can create the plan, we can figure it out, we can make it happen. And we're burnt out and we're tired and we're still searching and we're not putting God first because it doesn't make sense. So If you are a full-on believer already, just have a little scan through your life, because it's always good to have a look and a clear out and a like, oh, where have I shifted my focus from God and where am I putting it? Where am I thinking that this thing is going to make me feel loved, safe, good enough, better? Where are you putting your power? Has it slipped off God? And if this is new to you and you are still putting yourself and what you need and how it's all about us feeling good and what we can get and how we can feel and look good and get approval and our plan and what we can do to make stuff happen and manifest things. If that's you, you might be like, I don't even know where to start. Start by getting a journal out and looking at what is taking the power. What are you putting your power and your trust and your faith in? Is it a crystal? Is it somebody else? Is it something that you're so focused on that consumes so much of your time and your energy, focused on this thing being the thing that will make everything okay? God will make everything okay. And if you're new to it, lean in. Be in a community where people are learning about it more, whether that's Believe, whether that's a church, a lively church that's Bible-based teaching. Get around other people that are, it's not to say you shouldn't love yourself and you shouldn't be proud of yourself and you shouldn't desire things. It's not saying that. It's saying don't put all your power and focus in you. Put it in God first, and then all these other things will happen so much better, in such a more aligned way, in such a more graceful way, because we take ourselves out the way so God can step in and God can do everything he wants to do desperately in your life, but he can't because we're in the way. I have proper gone on a rant about this. Self-help has replaced God's help until now, though. And if this resonates you, if Believe the podcast resonates with you, you will resonate with Believe. You will love Believe. So lean in. And if it's the first time that you're like, I am ready to put God first, lean in and just say a real simple prayer. Hey, God, I want to know more. I don't want to do this life thing on my own anymore. I want to learn more. Guide me to where I need to be, and you will be guided. All right? Please share this on with a friend who you know would benefit too. Any questions? I'm all over social or at hello@laurajanehand.com. I'll see you again next time. Bye.